Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss the topic cell unit of life. So it is a part of biology and science is the topic which studies physics, chemistry and biology. Today we are going to detail study of the cell unit of life. It is related with the structural organization, various functions and different type of cell organelles inside it. Okay. So before that we will move towards what is the discovery of the cell. Cell discovery. So cell is first discovered by the scientist Robert Hooke in 1665. So it is first discovered by the scientist Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke studies the honeycomb-like structure, and in that honeycomb-like structure, he said that this is a cork-like department in the every living organism. So each and every living body is consist of, or which is made up of cell, and it is the basic part of the every living organism. We know that there are various diversity is available on the earth related to the living organism. Means from smaller insect or microorganism up to higher or complex organisms, from plants that chlorella, from the huge variety of the angiosperms, flowering plants, there is biodiversity is available, and in that biodiversity very basic part is present, that is the cell. So related to this cell theory was first proposed by two scientists, that is M.S. Children and T.S. Schwann. So why they have proposed this theory? Because to determine the characteristic of cell, to tell how they are made up of, what are the actual characteristic features of the cell, and that Children and Schwann proposed the cell theory. So what is the actual cell theory? Cell is the basic structure and every living organism is made up of cell. We know that every living organisms are made up of cell, from microorganisms up to huge animals except viruses, because they are not having any cellular organization. Okay. Along with that, in the cell theory they proposed another thing, that genetic information was transferred from one generation to another, and we know that human beings are best examples of this cell theory and this characteristic, that hereditary characters were transferred from parents to their offspring. Then third one, very important characteristic inside the cell theory, that is every new organism arises from pre-existing cells. Pre-existing cell means due to cell division. We know that different type of a cell division process. In amoeba, nuclear division will take place, mitosis, meiosis are the phases, and during this cell division, every basic parent organism comes divide. First nucleus will be divided, and after that cytoplasm will divide, and after that new organism was prepared. We know that various examples are comes under this, that is the amoeba, yeast, then spirogyra and bryophyte. Next, there is structural organization of the cell. So structural organization, we know that cell is basic part. Why it is called as a functional? Because so many cell organelles are present inside the cell. I have brought here one diagram. Okay. In that diagram, various cell organelles were included. So this different type of cell organelles perform different type of functions to comprises with the different life processes, their habitat, their changes, and whatever the requirement for their reproduction purpose also. So in the structural organization, this structure involves various types of cell organelle. We'll study further in detail. Before that, we'll move towards another type of microorganism. It depends on the number of cells present in that living body. See, unicellular and multicellular organism. Uni means single, cellular means cell. Multi, more than 2 cells present. Okay. If the living body which is made up of only single cell, you know that one example is here, that is of amoeba. Okay. Each and every functions and habitat life processes completed in a single cell of amoeba. With the help of pseudopodia, it it comprises with all life processes and it attains the stability during the life process. So every living organism, if they are made up of single cell, we call as unicellular organism. But if the living body is made up of two or more than two cells, we call it as a multicellular organism. You get it? Okay. So after that, we'll move towards very important part related to cell, that is the types of cell. It depends on the structure of cell, how nucleus and cellular structure is arranged. That is prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. See, in this meaning, pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. In German, pro means primitive type of nucleus is present. So basically we know that nucleus along with the cytoplasm, along with the cell membrane and along with the cell wall is the actual linear structure. It is the ascending order of the structure from nucleus to cell wall. But in case of primitive type of nucleus, there is absence of nuclear membrane. So all the nuclear material present, whatever the nuclear content present inside the nucleus, which was not bounded by the nuclear membrane. Okay, so chromatin fibers, nuclear material, nucleoplasm will directly comprises and get mixed with the cytoplasm inside the cellular material. Are you getting this? Okay. So in this prokaryotic cell, primitive type of nucleus is present, means nuclear membrane is absent. But in opposite case, eukaryon. Eu means true or well developed. In German, it also means that true karyon, nucleus is well developed. Means nucleus is present, nuclear material is present, and around the nuclear membrane, it comprises with the different type of cytoplasm, cell wall, and again cellular material, that is we call as a cell organelles. Okay. So after that we will move towards actual structural organization of the cell. Here I have drawn diagram of one structure of cell showing a plant cell. Okay. In this diagram, see, this is diagram of plant cell. So it is another distinguishing characteristic between plant cell and animal cell, because in the plant cell only cell wall is present. We know that it is made up of cellulose fiber. In animal cell it is not present, cell wall is absent. So here I have drawn plant cell diagram. In this diagram, first see the sequence of this diagram. Okay, structural organization. Cell wall is present, along with cell wall, cell membrane is present. So in cell membrane, it is we also called as semi-permeable membrane. Inside the cell membrane, cytoplasm is present, which we call as cellular material. Whatever the plasma material present inside the cell, we call as cytoplasm. Okay. Next, in this cytoplasm, see, this one is vacuole. Vacuole is another cell organelle. This is the nucleus. It is the center of the cell and very basic part of the cell, which constitutes and controls all the activities present inside the cell. Along with this nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum is present, Golgi apparatus is present. Next, chloroplast, plastid and mitochondria. So we'll see one by one that all cell organelles. Okay. Number one is that cell wall. So see, cell wall, it is outermost coating or outermost layer of the cell. This is protective layer which is normally made up of glycocalyx, and in the plant cell it is biochemically made up of cellulose fiber. After that cell wall, inside it cell membrane is present. So cell membrane is presently along with the cell wall. It is also called as plasma membrane or also called as semi-permeable membrane. Why it is called as a plasma membrane? Because they will ask this question in give scientific reason that they are also called as semi-permeable membrane, because they are allows entry or exit of wanted or unwanted content inside the cell. whatever the required biochemicals or enzymes or any other material needed for the cell growth or its organization, that cell membrane allows with the help of pores or some small openings, small open spaces are available in the cell membrane, and through that cell membrane the entry and exit will be controlled. Okay, after that cell membrane we will see the another cellular material we call as cytoplasm. Cyto means cell and plasm means plasma material. So cellular material, it is also called as a plasma material. Cell, which consists of different plasma material which is in the semi-solid form. Okay, it is a jelly-like substance. We have seen that fluid mosaic model. Okay, and in that fluid mosaic model, he said that all the cell organelles were embedded like iceberg inside the cytoplasm. Okay, along with cytoplasm, in the cytoplasm around the nucleus, various semi-solid material will fade, which comprises with the different type of cell organelle. We will see one by one cell organelles. In that first we will see nucleus. Okay, nucleus, we know that nucleus, like in atom, nucleus is present. In biology, in the cell, nucleus is also present, which deals with, which controls, which regulates all the biochemical activities inside the cell. Because it contains chromosome, it contains gene, it contains genetic material, maybe DNA, RNA, murin, peptide, peptidoglycan. So many biochemicals were present inside the nucleus, and this nucleus controls all over the activities. Okay, so it is the center of the cell which focuses all the activities of different cell organelle. But along with nucleus, okay, nuclear membrane, one cell organelle is present, we call as endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum, because in the nucleus ribosomes, that is a protein icebergs are present, and that protein molecules were directly transferred to the nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is attached with another cell organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum. Again, this endoplasmic reticulum further classified into two parts. You get it? Again, endoplasmic reticulum further classified into two parts. Number one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, why it is rough? Because see, this is also endoplasmic reticulum. This is also, I have drawn here, endoplasmic reticulum. But some smaller units were placed on the endoplasmic reticulum, which are nothing but ribosomes. How they occur? Okay, they came from this nuclear structure into the endoplasmic reticulum. If ribosomes are present around the body of endoplasmic reticulum, we call it as a rough endoplasmic reticulum. If there is an absence of ribosome, we call it as SER, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Why they are smooth? Because there is plain surface. Instead of ribosome, they are having the same or plain surface. That's why it is called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. After that, next one, that is very important cell organelle. Mitochondria. Okay. You are all known about the mitochondria. In biology, we call mitochondria as powerhouse of the cell. Why we call mitochondria as a powerhouse of the cell? So see, during the process of photosynthesis, it requires a lot of energy, and this energy which was produced with the help of ATP molecules. So in the mitochondria, there is electron transfer chain reaction will take place inside it. Inside the mitochondria, electron transfer chain reaction will take place, and ATP were utilized for the photosynthesis and cellular respiration process. So this ATP molecule were utilized for these two important life processes: photosynthesis, that is nothing but nutrition in case of a plant, and next one, that is a respiration, which is also very important life process. So whatever the energy required for this living body, for this plant cell, which is directly provided from the mitochondria, hence mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell. Along with mitochondria, it shows also present of Golgi bodies. It is another supplementary organ, cell organelle present, which secretes various types of biochemicals and enzymes needed for the further processes. Next one, see, I have drawn here one vacuole. So in our home, like one storehouse is there to keep whatever unessential content to keep separately from other things. Same like that, in the cell also a large or small vacuole is present. Okay, so this vacuole is needed to store unwanted or unessential biochemicals and enzymes which are not needed now, but in further cases, in further life processes, they can utilize through the vacuole. Along with vacuole, next one, that is a chloroplast. Plastids is nothing but very important part which are needed for the photosynthesis process, because plastids contains different type of color pigment. If they are colorless, we call as leucoplast. If they are green in color, we call as chloroplast. So see, this one is the chloroplast. This is the chloroplast which is needed for the photosynthesis process. This is the actual structural organization of the plant cell. But see, you have to remind this, in case of animal cell wall is absent. Again, in case of animal cell, chloroplast is absent, because we know that plants are autotrophs. They perform autotrophic nutrition, means they prepare their own food with the help of photosynthesis process, with the help of chloroplast. Okay, so this chloroplast is comprises to perform photosynthesis. So if you have any doubts regarding this, you can ask.